Science has no answers to mental health, not really. If you take a drug for anxiety or depression, right, you're dependent upon that drug. If you stop taking it, the anxiety and the depression return, right? If that was an answer, if that was a cure, you wouldn't be dependent upon the medication to have good mental health, would you? A lot of what science does is it masks the symptoms. It makes us numb to the problem without actually treating the root cause of the problem. And science admits that its understanding of human emotion and mental health is very poor. It's well aware of this fact. It's not hiding it. It admits it freely to the world. In fact, if you were to talk to any neuroscientist, they would say that the human mind is one of the greatest resources we have, and at the same time, it's the most difficult thing to map. It's the most difficult thing to measure. If you were to take all the supercomputers in the entire world and use them all to map out one human brain, it would not be enough. Just one human brain. Can you imagine, with all the advancements of science, how much work it still has to go forward to understand mental health and emotional health? Now, the answer to this problem with science and traditional medicine has been wellness. We're all a part of it, the wellness industry, well-being. Now, we think that the pharmaceutical industry is a very profitable business. Well, you should look at the wellness industry. The wellness industry is a multi-trillion-dollar industry that's 4 times larger than the global pharmaceutical industry. 4 times larger, and it's growing. So people are understanding that science has limitations. And so they're seeking other things, other resources, other possibilities to try and find an answer, to try and find a solution. But if there was a solution in all these modalities and all these other treatments out there, then you think that the numbers of mental health would be decreasing. And we see the exact opposite. And in fact, the danger of the wellness industry is that because science is not able to accurately measure and depict human emotion and the mind, that the wellness industry is free of science. So what reigns supreme? Pseudoscience, magic, personal anecdotes, stories. This is a huge problem. In fact, who knows, maybe some parts of the wellness industry are contributing to mental illness instead of alleviating the problem. Now, to answer the problem, we have to first and foremost understand what a human is. We understand that we have these inherent characters, that a human being is not just a physical body, that there's very much a mind and an emotional component that gives us this conscious experience. And though science cannot measure it, science has accepted that it's real, because science will always accept something when it sees an impact. It might not be able to measure it, understand the process in the same way that science doesn't necessarily understand gravity yet. A lot of it is still theoretical, but science can see an apple fall from a tree and conclude that there is a power, there is an energy, there is a process behind that. So in the same way, science understands that emotions, right, this mental aspect of life is very much inherent to us, just as our own physical bodies are. But it doesn't necessarily understand its nature, its function, the process behind it, where these thoughts and emotions truly come from. What is the point of having emotions? What is life telling us through our emotions? Now, these inherent characters are characters such as compassion, love, affection, empathy, sympathy, caring, sacrifice. And these characters, they ultimately guide our behavior. They instruct the personality to manifest into whatever we see today. It could be a behavior of someone who's dishonest, someone who is a person of commitment, somebody who is responsible, someone who's prone to violence. And the unfortunate thing is you see a lot of people focused on behavior-based methods to treat these inherent characters, when it's the inherent characters that determine behavior. Now, if we go into neuroscience, neuroscience says that first and foremost, the brain must be orderly in order for thoughts to be orderly. And thoughts and emotions are intertwined. And for thoughts to be orderly, then our actions are orderly. It does not work the other way around. So you understand that to change thoughts, to have power over the mind, to have power over our emotions, to control our beliefs and the things that ultimately make the largest impact in our lives and the choices we make in our relationships, in our success, in our vitality, in our health, we cannot change things at a behavior-based level. We have to go down to the very source of it, which is the mind, the brain. Now, how do we change the brain? We need to have access to the faculty that created the mind to begin with. We need to be able to change the actual components that compose the brain. How hard is that to do? Think of it, you can't force love. Nobody can decide one day just to suddenly love someone. To make love happen is a very difficult thing to do. It's something that happens naturally. You can't persuade yourself to love someone. It's something that is inherent to you. Emotions are byproducts of the mind.